Today, we're diving into a piece of technology that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but I promise you, it's not. We're talking about connecting our brains directly to computers, and it's happening so much faster than you think.
I mean, just picture it for a second. Controlling your phone, your laptop, maybe even your entire house, not with your fingers, not with your voice, but just by thinking about it. It's a wild idea, right?
For so long, this was purely the stuff of sci-fi. But that line between what's fiction and what's reality, well, it's getting blurrier every single day. And the timeline for this tech is speeding up in a way that's, well, it's kind of shocking. Because according to the experts, according to the market data, we're on track to have consumer-level brain-computer interfaces available by 2026. Yeah, you heard me right. Not in 10 years. We're talking just a couple of years from now.
So, how on earth is a prediction that bold even possible? To really get a handle on that 2026 timeline, we first need to break down what this core technology actually is.
So at its simplest, a brain-computer interface, or BCI, is basically a direct hotline between your brain and a machine. This could be a tiny implant that reads your brain's activity with incredible detail, or maybe a non-invasive headset you just wear. Either way, it completely cuts out the middleman, like your keyboard or a touchscreen, and lets you control things with the power of your mind.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great in theory, but where's the actual proof? Well, let me tell you, the evidence isn't just trickling in. It's coming at us like a tidal wave.
Just take a look at this timeline from Neuralink, which is Elon Musk's BCI company. It's nuts. In less than a year, they went from getting FDA approval for human trials to successfully implanting a device in a person, to that patient controlling a computer cursor and playing video games using only their thoughts. That kind of rapid-fire progress is exactly why that 2026 prediction is so real.
And this wasn't some secret experiment tucked away in a lab. Nope. This was announced for the entire world to see. This quote from Elon Musk back in January 2024, that was the moment this whole thing went from theoretical to practical. It really set the stage for everything we're seeing now. And if you want to see where things are really headed, just follow the money. The financial data tells a story all its own. The BCI market is set to more than double in just 3 years. A growth rate of over 15% a year? That's fueled by some massive investments from people who see the potential, not just in medicine, but in everything from gaming to communication. The money's pouring in because the potential is just undeniable.
But here's the thing. This incredible growth isn't just about one company. Oh no. What we're witnessing is a full-blown technological race, with dozens of companies all competing for a direct line into our minds.
While Neuralink grabs all the headlines, they are far from the only game in town. There are over 50 companies working in this space, and a huge competitor, Synchron, is trying a totally different, less invasive approach. They're threading their device through blood vessels to avoid actual brain surgery. This variety is so important. It just makes everything move faster and gives us more ways to get to that mainstream adoption. And the fuel for this whole race? A massive amount of cash. Between just 2023 and 2025, we're talking over $2 billion invested in BCI companies. This isn't just wishful thinking anymore. This is a serious, heavily funded industry that's right on the edge of a major breakthrough.
But, whenever technology moves this fast, we have to hit the brakes for a second and talk about the two sides of the coin. BCIs have this potential for incredible, life-changing good, but they also open the door to some unprecedented risks.
And this really lays out the core dilemma, doesn't it? The promise is absolutely immense, restoring movement to someone who is paralyzed, or maybe even treating severe depression. But the dangers are just as big. Think about it. What happens when your private thoughts become data? Data that can be collected, hacked, or even sold. Who actually owns your brain? And is this going to create a whole new social divide between the enhanced and the unenhanced?
These are some really serious questions. But it feels like the train has already left the station, The momentum is just pushing us forward. So let's take a look at the path this technology is expected to take as it becomes part of our world.
The projected roadmap is just astonishingly fast. So in 2026, the first devices hit the market for the early adopters. Just 2 years after that, we could see way more people using them as the costs come down. And then by 2030, some experts are saying that BCIs could be as common and as integrated into our lives as the smartphone is today. Just let that sink in for a minute.
And that leads to this truly mind-bending prediction from some futurists. They're suggesting that by 2035,
choosing not to have a BCI could put you at a serious professional and social disadvantage, kind of like trying to get by in today's world without a smartphone or internet.
So, all of this brings the entire conversation back to a very personal question for you. The technology is coming, the timeline is accelerating. Knowing the incredible promise and the profound risks, the question isn't if this will be an option, but what you'll do when it is. So, would you get a brain chip?